Let's get to work. Today we are going to disassemble the engine of a 2006 Xsara Picasso 2.0 HD. We start by cleaning the parts surrounding our engine, in this case a robust TW10. We'll start by removing the air filter and the intake duct. In this model, we need to be careful with the air pressure sensor or MAF sensor. Once the filter is removed, we'll start by taking out the bracket that holds the ECU and the preheating relay. This will give us access to the airbox mounting, temperature sensors, ground cables and the air selector. Looking now, we have two ground wires. One is the chassis ground and the other is the engine sensor ground. Their colors are unique characteristics, allow us to distinguish between them. Now, with extreme care, we begin to disassemble the main harness and the injection harness. This must always be handled with the power disconnected. Next, we'll go to the underside of our Xsara Picasso and start by removing the sump guard so we can drain the fluids, like the transmission oil and coolant. Once that's done, we'll start by disassembling the suspension ball joints, the steering rack, and the anti-roll bar, and the engine subframe, when one of the three engine mounts is located. Once the lower parts of our engine is free, we'll begin to remove the accessory belt so we can disconnect the air conditioning system, as we plan to preserve the gas. This step may or may not be taken depending on this client's needs. Now, with the engine almost completely free, we begin to detach the mount on the timing side and the transmission side. This should always be done with the help of an engine hoist to prevent sudden drops and possible unnecessary breakage. Once the engine is completely freed from the engine bay, in this particular model, the engine comes out from underneath. With extreme care, we begin to lift our vehicle, making sure all parts remain clear of our engine. What we are looking at here is the DW10 engine manufactured by PSA, which is a diesel engine. What we are seeing specifically is the timing system. This is the timing belt, which drives these 4 gears. This here corresponds to the camshaft, which open and close the valves. This here corresponds to the high pressure fuel pump, which injects fuel into the engine to make it run. And this, which is the most important part, or the one of the most important, is the crankshaft pulley, which connects to the crankshaft. These three gears together form what's known as the timing system, which is the heart of the engine. What we are seeing here is the wear on the timing belt. While it's something to consider, it's still within the regulated mileage. We can initially determine this is by observing no cracks or marks, as well as the shape of the belt teeth. What we are seeing here is the fuel filtration systems. Where fuel enters, impurities are filtered out and there it goes into the engine. These other two connectors correspond to the fuel lines that come from the tank and the returns line, which sends unused fuel back to the tank. Now we can see the brake vacuum pump, which is responsible for generating vacuum to make the brake pedal feel softer. To this down here is the water housing, also known as the thermostat housing, where the coolant is distributed to other parts of the vehicle to be cooled or heated. We'll mount the engine back into the car to the same way to separate them, always taking special care with the accessories surrounding the drivetrain. With the help of engine hoist, we'll be positioned in this initial place and secured to the mounts. These mounts must be tied to the correct torque, which can be found online. In this case, we will configure the torque wrench to tighten the bolts that secure the engine in the engine bay. We need to check the nut on this mount carefully. Its oval top and round bottom keep it from loosening up with vibration. We check that everything is secure in place. Then we go under the vehicle and start assembling the exhaust system, steering and suspension. We also assembling the engine subframe and all its corresponding accessories, such as the steering rack, suspension ball joints, anti-roll bar, and finally the stump guard. Use the torque wrench, we make the final adjustment to ensure everything in perfect condition. We add the oil to the transmission and then install the tires to finalize the details, such as the EQ mount, the air filter, the coolant, and the power steering fluid. Once the fluids are the correct level, we'll start our Xsara Picasso to bleed all the circuits and thus complete our work. While the systems are purging, we finished assembling the windshield wipers and accessories. And that's how we finished the disassembly and assembly of the Xsara Picasso engine.